Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I am here bringing you my Rakdos pool. The Selesnya pool got a lot of good feedback and I decided that I wanted to do the Rakdos pool too. So this pool is my second one. I did two pre-release events and this is the second of the two. And the first night was Selesnya and I lost the two Rakdos decks. So obviously the next day I decided to go Rakdos. And I didn't exactly open the Rakdos deck that I wanted to, but I think it was a pretty sweet Rakdos deck and I hope that you guys are going to go ahead and enjoy this. So without further ado, here is the deck. Anyway, I'm just going to slowly pan over it for those of you who can recognize all these cards by their art. I think I actually had this camera on the wrong setting for the first thing, so I'm probably a little bit fuzzy. I apologize about that. But yeah, anyway, those are the cards, and now let's go through them in depth. This is Gorehouse Chainwalker. He is a 1/2 Unleash. He's a 2/1, I mean 1 in red, for a 2/1 Unleash. You may have it enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter. If it's got a +1/+1 counter on it, it can't block. So it's basically a 3/2 for 2, very aggressive card. Again, Rakdos Shred Freak, red or black, and red or black for a 2/1 haste. Rick's Magic Guild Mage, this card's awesome. It is red and black for a 2/2, and its abilities are right here. Red black, target blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Red black, target player who lost life this turn loses an additional 1 life. So this card's really, really strong. It just makes it impossible for them to block well, and if they don't block, then you can get in for more damage. So it's just a really hard card to play around. So this is the main issue. There's no 1-drops, and there's only 1 Shred Freak, only 1 Chainwalker, and the Guild Mage was pretty lucky that I ended up getting that. But in the Rakdos deck, you really want to have a lot of aggressive 2-drops, and I just did not have that, so I couldn't really build the really awesome, aggressive Rakdos deck that overran me in the first game, or in the first night, rather. Anyway, my 3-drops, I had 2 of these Dead Revelers, who may just be the best black common outside of removal spells. It's just such a good card. It's a 2/3 Unleash, so you get to play a 3/4 on turn 3, and there's just nothing they can do about it. Anyway, I had 2 Annihilating Fires, which is just an amazing card. It's an instant Annihilating Fire, deals 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature was dealt damage this turn, would die, exile instead. Not always too relevant, but anyway. Augur Spree, 1 black, red, target creature gets +4/-4 until the turn. So it's a really, really strong removal spell. It kills almost everything in the format, and it's at instant speed, so that's pretty awesome. Splatter Thug, another thing that's really good in addition to Dead Reveler, not quite as good, but 3/3 First Strike or 2/2 First Strike if you don't unleash it, very strong. Selesnya Keyrune, so a little bit awkward because I am playing Rakdos, but you can actually use, I actually did activate this multiple times because I had 2 of these Transguild Promenades, and I also had a Golgari Guildgate. So if I manage to get 2 out of 3 of those things out on the table at once, then I am able to activate the Keyrune. So that was pretty cool that I was actually able to do that. Anyway, here's Launch Party, 3 in a black, instant. As an additional cost to cast Launch Party, sacrifice a creature, destroy a target creature, its controller loses 2 life. So I actually had 2 of these, but I only ended up running 1 of them. I felt like it was just overkill, and I already had a ton of removal, so I didn't really need it. Anyway, I got 2 Ogre Jailbreakers here. 4/4 Defender. It can attack as though it didn't have Defender as long as you control a gate. So it was basically just a Defender most of the time, since I only had 2 gates. I had a Rakdos Guildgate and a Golgari Guildgate, but it was still pretty good for me. Anyway, Perilous Shadow, 2 black, black. Perilous Shadow gets +2/+2 until end of turn if you play 1 in a black. So it's really, really strong card. It's just really impossible to play around, and you can attack for tons of damage. You can just hold back and block for tons of damage. It forces them to make different attacks than they would normally want to do because they are afraid of you swinging back for like 6 damage with this one creature. And then there were 2 of these Dark Revenants. I really wasn't sure how well they were going to play, but they're 3 in a black, and they're 2/2 flyers, and when it dies, put it on the top of its owner's library. So it was really good, especially against one of my opponents who was running a couple of Supreme Verdicts, and it was just really not very beneficial for him to do that, because then I was just going to be able to get my flyer back and play it. So playing a 2/2 flyer is just better than doing pretty much anything. So putting it back on the top of my library is no problem. Alright, 2 more cards. Two 5-drops. Goblin Rally, 3 red, red, put 4/1/1 Goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. This was fine for me, not very good. I think it would be better if I had a Dynacharge, but here is the best card in my deck. Vraska the Unseen, 3 black, green. She's a planeswalker. She starts at 5 loyalty. Her +1 is until your next turn. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to Vraska, destroy that creature. -3, destroy target non-land permanent. -7, put 3 1/1 black assassin creature tokens onto the battlefield with. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Then there is 3 explosive impacts. 3 of them, 5 in a red. Explosive impact deals 5 damage to target creature or player. Carnival Hellsteed is the promo card. It's basically a 6 cost, 5/4 first strike, haste, unleash. And then Havoc Festival. This card's sweet. This card actually beat me in the Selesnya match. My opponent just dropped one of these in games 2 and game 3. So it was really my bad on not seeing that I was able to just sideboard in some enchantment removal to get rid of this thing, which is definitely what I should have done. But he just basically played Havoc Festival and killed me before I was able to get through all of his chump blockers with my 8/8. So in game 3 he did that, and in game 2 I had basically completely stabilized the board. I had all my 1/4s out, all my 0/3s, and he couldn't get in. And then he's just like Havoc Festival, and he took me down from 5 to 2 to 1 to 0, and that's basically how this card works. So I was basically I had a pretty good strategy with this deck. I was going to center it around Vraska or Havoc Festival or Carnival Hellsteed, or even just the explosive impacts, where I wanted to stall with my removal spells. I had 2 Annihilating Fires, Augur Spree, Launch Party. I had some Ogre Jailbreakers, even Perilous Shadows, a great blocker. Early on, I could put early pressure on. Okay, so that was one. My main strategy was that I'm just going to stall early, play Vraska, play Carnival Hellsteed, play Havoc Festival. One of these cards will just win me the game as long as I can stall. Then my other strategy was try to get an aggressive draw. So if I get a Rakdos, Shred Freak, Goros, Chainwalker on turn 2, or a Dead Reveler, or a Splatter Thug on turn 3, then I was basically able to overwhelm them before they could do much. And that was pretty awesome. When I was actually able to get that off, I won a couple of games that way. And then if they managed to stabilize the board in the middle of the game, I have tons and tons and tons of stuff to actually kill them. I did end up siding into a Rakdos key rune. I brought that in a lot. Not a Rakdos key, a Rakdos charm, which also gave me some more damage. But look, I got 2 Annihilating Fires that could deal 3 damage each. I had this Launch Party that could deal 2 damage. And I had 3 explosive impacts that can deal 5 each, as well as Havoc Festival, which I can just drop. And so basically, once they get to a low life, it was very, very easy for me to kill them. That being said, between those 2 strategies, I expected to be able to win pretty much all my games, and I just wasn't able to. The first match I played against was, I think it was Grixis Control, and my opponent was playing a lot of 0/3s, a lot of 0/6s. He was just playing a lot of walls and stuff, and then he had Amizium Mortars, which he used to at one point destroy 2 Ogre Jailbreakers and like a Dead Reveler. It was just really brutal. I was like slowly chipping away at his defenders, and then he's just like, no, not anymore. And then he played a couple of creatures and just attacked with them, and until I was dead. So that's how I lost one game. And then I lost the 3rd game, or that was actually on a Multi 6 on the play, so that was fun. Or maybe it was even, no, it was a Multi 6, yeah. Alright, anyway, Vraska the Unseen. Well, her name is Vraska the Unseen, and that's pretty much what it was. I did not even get to play this card. In 4 rounds, I never got to play this card. And it's not because my mana was all screwy. I had the Key Rune for green mana, and I had 2 Transguild Promenades plus a Golgari Guildgate, so I had 4 different green sources for this one green card, and it actually, I actually pretty much had green whenever I needed it. I just never drew Vraska. There was one game in the entire draft, which I ended up winning anyway, or no, I didn't end up winning that game, but I ended up winning the match, where I was stuck on 4 lands, so even though I didn't have any green, I still wouldn't have been able to cast Vraska. Because I was only stuck on 4 lands. So that was unfortunate. I ended up going 2-2 because I lost to that first guy with his control deck. I just didn't draw too well. I mulliganed in one game, and then the last game I couldn't win because I really needed something like Vraska to help me out, but she did not show up. and that's just unfortunate, but it's really, it's not too big of a deal. I definitely enjoyed myself, and this was a really sweet deck, and I look forward to hopefully making a deck as good as this again. But I mean, it's just so much removal. There's 2 Annihilating Fires, Augur Spree, Launch Party, 3 Explosive Impacts. You just usually don't get that kind of removal, and then obviously Vraska, Havoc Festival, Carnival, Hellsteed is just like an amazing center of bombs. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video and breakdown, and have a wonderful day. Bye.